Good evening. My name is Faith Bratton, and I am giving my written exam, Module 1, evaluation of how I got my answers for my exam. Okay, so we're going to start with number 1. They've given us the numbers 8, 10, 11, 12, and 13, and they're asking us to place the digits in the circle to find the sum across that they all equal the same. Okay, so by starting, we have 8, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Whichever way you put the numbers, as long as 8 is in the middle, it equals 31. And so here's all the different ways, and it shows that these are the only ways that you can work it, that they will all equal the same answer, vertical and horizontal. But 8 has to stay in the middle for all of them, even though the numbers change positions. You can change the numbers many times as you like, as seen on the side. The only way the puzzle works is because we're doing addition. If we were doing multiplication, the numbers would not work because they would not equal the same thing. Okay, so for 1B, study the sample diagram to the right, which is up top. It has 2, 10, 8, 7, 11, 5, 8, and 3. They're trying to get us to fill in the empty circles that are missing. It shows us that 2 plus 8, which are the 2 outside circles, equals 10, which is the middle one. 5 plus 3 equals 8, which is the middle on the bottom. And 2 plus 5 equals 7, and 8 plus 3 equals 11, right here. Okay, so we'll start with number 1. Since you know that the 2 bubbles on the outside must add together to equal the number in the middle, you start by subtracting 15 minus 7, which equals 8. So you put it in the right top circle. For the next one, next subtract 20 minus 8, which equals 12. You put it right here because 20 minus 8 equals 12, which goes in the next circle. 17 minus 12, which equals 5. So you add 5 to the circle. To check yourself, go through and add the outside circles to see if they match the numbers in the middle. Okay, so 7 plus 8 equals 15. 8 plus 12 equals 20. 5 plus 12 equals 17. And 7 plus 5 equals 12. Next. For part 2, since you know that the 2 outside circles must add together to equal the middle one, you start by subtracting 13 minus 6, which equals 7. Next, you start by subtracting 21 minus 6, which equals 15. Then you know that the last circle is 19 minus 15, which equals 4. You check and make sure your answers are correct by adding the outside circles to see if they equal the middle one, which 7 plus 6 equals 13, 6 plus 15 equals 21, 4 plus 15 equals 19, and 7 plus 4 equals 11. For the third part, we know that there's no solution. They give us the numbers 15, 8, 12, 6, and 3. We must know that subtracting 6 minus 3 equals 3. So then it would be 12 minus 3. Well, what's 12 minus 3? It doesn't work. Okay, so we know that that one has no solution. The last number does not go with the equation. Okay, for the question 4 on this one, since you know that the last 2 numbers, you work just like the other ones, must equal the one in the middle, you go with the numbers that are given. Okay, so trying to figure out the other bubble, subtract 18 minus 8, which equals 10. Okay, next you subtract 16 minus 10 equals 6. To find the last circle, you use the same method, 7 minus 6 equals 1. To check your answers, add the 2 outside circles to see if they make the same number. 1 plus 6 equals 7, 6 plus 10 equals 16, 8 plus 10 equals 18, and 1 plus 8 equals 9. Okay, for 2A, it tells us that they are giving us 9 square tiles are laid out on the table. Each tile must touch at least one side of each of the other ones. See the 2 examples on the right. Sketch out all possible figures that can be formed and calculated to the perimeters that can be formed. Okay, so we know that you lay out the 9 cubes and you figure out how many you add each side of them. Okay, so we're going to zoom in. You have 1, we're going to lay them out straight, 9 cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you go all the way around, and the last one's 20. So that we know that's one possible way. So we try it this way, and we come up with 14 as the perimeter. This way is 18, 16, and 12. So we know that the only possible perimeters there are with the 9 cubes that are given are 12, 14, 16, 18, and 21. The perimeter of an object is the distance around it. You find it by adding each side outside edge. The only perimeters given were the ones I just told you, using the 9 cubes given. Okay, the perimeter that has the most distance was 20, as you can tell, and the perimeter with the least distance around it is a 3 by 3 square, which gave us 12, right here. And you see that by adding up all the outside edges. And we know that that was the smallest one with the ones that we did. For 3A, you must find out, okay, it says, if one must always move upward to the right, only move upward or to the right, draw a diagram for how many ways you can get from A to B. You first realize that each way you go, there's only 6 ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seeing some of the possible ways given, you should decide to use Pascal's triangle. So you know that there's only 6 ways, so we go this way. Showing there's only 20 ways to get from A to B, which is right here. You use Pascal's triangle, figuring out, you start by doing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 3, 6, 10, 15. Okay, now we go to 3B. There are only 4 possible paths to get from C to E. Okay, C is here and E is over here. So we know that there's only 4 ways by showing C to B, and B to E, C to A to B, and B to E, C to F, and F to E, C to F, F to B, and B to E. Now we go to 4A. You start by figuring out what you have, so you write the equation. Okay, they're only giving us a certain amount of squares, as in the first one they're giving us example, as in right here. So for 4A, they only give us 25, 10, 7, and 3. So you start by, you can work it another way, trying to find X, like you put in parentheses 7 plus 5 plus 10, or X plus 7 plus 10 equals 25. You subtract 10 from both sides, you move down X plus 7 equals 15, and X equals 8. Then you fill in the squares. Since you know that it came out to 15 right here, that's what 15 must be there. But there's also another way. You can also solve the problem by adding the 2 bottom, the left in the middle, 8 plus 7, which equals 15, which is the bottom, the one above it. 7 plus 3 equals 10. 15 plus 10 equals 25. That's another way you can work it. Okay, since you do that for exact same one for 4B, since you don't have as much information as in the one above, you must guess and check. So you start by plugging in any number you think and working it to see if it'll work. You start by putting in 5, we'll say. Okay, 1 plus 5 equals 6. 5 plus 2 equals 7. 7 plus 5 equals 12. So no, 7 doesn't work. The outcome you get must be the top square. Okay, let's try 6. 1 plus 6 equals 7. 6 plus 2 equals 8. 7 plus 8 equals 15. So yes, the answer is 6. Y equals 6. For 4C, since you were looking for Z, we'll use the guess and check method as in 4B. We start by picking a random number like 7. Okay, so 2 plus 7 must equal, okay, it equals 9. 7 plus 9 equals 16. But 9 plus 16 equals 25. So no, 9 does not work. Let's try a bigger number like 8. 2 plus 8 equals 10. 8 plus 9 equals 17. 10 plus 17 equals 27. So yes, 8 is our answer. Okay, for 5, we are given that it says we must fill in the chart. Floyd is Josie's brother. Josie and Gus dated some, but then Gus met his present wife. Kitty's married to Will. Ann has 2 brothers. Ann's husband is an only child. So we start by, Floyd is Josie's brother, so you start by marking out Josie and Floyd. Okay? Because they can't be married because they're brothers and sisters. Josie and Gus dated some, but then Gus met his present wife. So you just kind of figure they're not married. Telling us that they are not married, marking them off. Kitty is married to Will. Checking them off and marking off everyone else since they can't be married to those 2. Annie has 2 brothers, but go to the next step. Annie's husband is an only child, and from the first step it says that Floyd is Josie's brother, telling us that Annie is not married to Floyd. Once marked off, it only leaves Sarah open to be married to Floyd. Mark off everyone else for Sarah, leaving Josie married to David. Mark off all the girls for David, leaving Annie married to Gus. So it shows that Kitty is married to Will, Sarah's married to Floyd, Josie's married to David, and Annie is married to Gus. Okay, for 6A, we are given create a dot representation for the numbers. Okay, so we start by, we have 1 plus 1 plus 1, 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1, 1 plus 2 plus 3, 3, 3 plus 2 plus 1. Okay, so, and we're looking for the next n plus h number. Okay, so we know that 1 plus 1 equals 3, those match. Okay, so we're looking for 1 plus 2 equals blank plus n plus blank plus 2 plus 1. It's a pattern coming to the next one. So just like the ones above, 1 plus 2 equals 3. Then those n numbers will be 4. Then the next one's 3, 2, 1. And the dot pattern would be this. For 6B, 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 1 times 3. That equals 2 times 4. This equals 3 times 5. So this is a dot representation for that. From the first dot pattern that were in the triangles, you can rearrange them and put them into another diagram where there's not a triangle. So they must add 2 columns and 2 rows and get away from the triangle form. Okay, so we know that a 1 by 3 must be a 1 by 3. A 2 by 4 is a 2 by 4, a 3 by 5, and a 4 by 6. The next n number that we made would be a 4 by 6, which is right here. This way, they are rearranged into a triangle or a rectangle with 2 more columns and rows, and not a triangle form. Okay, using inductive reasoning to find the general formula for the nth trapezoidal number, it's n parentheses n plus 2. Okay, that is all I have for my written exam, Critical Thinking, Chapter 1. I hope you have learned from my ways of teaching.